gonna record before I gets about that.
Got
Mm,
it. Do you want me
yep.
to do it? You got it.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you did the one a couple days ago, but I don't think. Well, I didn't need it, right? So,
It probably
I
is
don't know.
good to always have at least two of us recording.
okay. Well, we can do that. I'll do. Okay, I'll give Mark a
All right.
record then.
Sure.
But you don't really have to send it
We
to
only
me.
have to need it once, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
There we go.
Absolutely.
So,
I'd rather record 50 episodes of this than have to redo one. You know what I mean?
mm. Okay. Yeah, yeah, because it's never fresh if you have to do it again, is it?
That killed a podcast once for me and Matt.
Oh yeah,
You
that's right. We just did
remember,
because
Matt, when our friend Mike made that dumb movie and then and he accidentally erased it because he thought he was copying it overnight, but he was recording over it. So then he remade the entire movie with him in your role and it wasn't as good.
well, I was probably busy that day.
Now
Honestly, I
that's some
don't
good
remember
dirt.
that.
That's some good dirt for the Patreon subscribers.
I don't
Matt was
remember that.
almost it was like I was just a murderer and I was just making things up and I wore a pillowcase in my head and I was just like running out and killing everyone.
But yeah, what Luke was talking about was when we were going to do the Firefly podcast, and we did like one episode, and then we did the second one, and I accidentally erased it because my iPad updated, but I don't remember what the fuck happened, to be honest. But
Oh yeah, we were sat there recording. People kept interrupting us, so we recorded one segment like 3 times, and then you lost the whole recording at the end. and we were just like, we're not doing that again. And we just quit.
Well,
we quit doing the Firefly podcast entirely and started the Sci-Fi Sanctuary instead.
Well, you ended up on the right side of history, not doing a Firefly podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So, way to go.
So I was bringing up the shit on my.
Not that I didn't like the show, but it's just like, man, there's so much baggage on that shit now.
We just picked it because it's like, oh, it's not that many episodes. It'll be a good thing to sort of start ourselves off with.
Yeah, like we did the Prisoner.
We're both kind of into it, but not mega into it. So, like, we don't care if our first podcast is a bit shite.
Either this movie's gotten worse or the Love Guru's gotten better. This movie's gotten worse. Yeah. I mean, that's why I froze the list because it shifts around, right?
Yeah.
So
let's do it anyway.
Right.
Let's get on with this shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Got better things to do in my life than talk about the fucking Hungover games with you, Matt.
Let's put this shit in the ground.
In at number 94, it's a movie made with the logic of a logic.
You want to start over?
You can leave that in if you want. In at number 94, it's a movie made with the logic of a t-shirt company. What if we took this thing and slammed them together?
I have a apple. I have a pineapple pen. I forgot how to do PPAP. I'm glad I forgot.
PPAP?
PPAP?
PPAP? Pineapple apple pen.
He remembers. Okay.
Yeah, we'll have backwards the same thing as forwards. Is that what it is?
No, it's a stupid Japanese comedy video about teaching you English where he's like, I have a pen. I have an apple. Apple pen.
Anyway, yeah, folks.
That sounds like a joke that would be in this movie.
Look it up. Put in PPAP and Picotaro, Picotaro, and you will experience PPAP, which occasionally children will still do, but it's a small window because they had to be like 3 or 4 when it came out. Now they're like 8, and they have to remember it from that. So it's very rare now to have kids doing that, but it still happens occasionally.
Well, speaking of putting things into things, we're here to talk about the Hungover games.
That's right. Hi, I'm Matt.
Do I want my name on this? I'm Luke.
You could make up a new name if you want. You could how about your actor name?
I'm Esteban Thunderfuck.
There we go. Mark, who are you today?
I'm allegedly Mark, as far as you know.
Mark. Okay.
If I say it like that, then maybe people will think I'm somebody else.
I could see a like network sitcom called Allegedly Mark.
Yes. Yeah, it's just me showing up to jobs that I don't actually work at and being like, yes.
This is Films and Filth. And we're getting filthy today, as you said. I for one was excited to watch this film. because once I got it out of the way, that means we don't have to watch another spoof for like a year.
This kind of hurt me for multiple reasons, this movie, because for one thing, it's much funnier than Stan Helsing, but it's also much more horrible.
Yeah.
Like in
to women,
so many,
and also
everyone.
racist.
It is the most racist movie that I've seen in like 10 years, and I watch like problematic Hong Kong comedies on the regular. This is like trying to bury those. I feel like whoever wrote this is like angry about the woke mob right now.
2014 is the year, so that's slightly surprising, I guess. I mean, it does feel like an 80s comedy as far as that goes.
The other thing is, I don't really like The Hangover, and I kind of think this is funnier than that.
I genuinely think this is a lot funnier than any of the Hangover films. All right, okay, I was going to save this for later. I fucking hate the Hangover films. They're dreadful. They're like, you know, the Judd Apatow school of like, oh, we'll make a comedy where we have a vague script and then the actors improvise. It's like they tried to do that, but they didn't even hire comedians. They just hired some actors. So it's like they just wander through some events that might be kind of funny, and there's no jokes. There's no like funny writing. Nothing is funny in those films. It's like the director, he has fun nights out and then people laugh when he tells the story, and somehow he misinterpreted that as him being able to make comedy films. No wonder no one fucking laughed. No wonder he had to go and make The Joker. Oh, you can't make comedy anymore. No, you're just bad at it. You're really bad at it.
I 100% agree with everything Luke just said, except I kind of did like the Joker movie.
I haven't seen The Joker. I just remember
I do actually like it.
I
think I like it because that guy should have just been making movies that weren't funny all along, and also Joaquin Phoenix is so good. Joaquin Phoenix is a better actor than everyone in every Hangover movie put together times like 10. So that's it. But
I'll give the one slightly dissenting opinion just because of nostalgia, because it was right after my daughter was born, just before we came back to Japan. And for some reason, we had a family viewing evening of The Hangover with my daughter in a crib still. You know, she was like 6 months old, so you can still watch dirty movies with her around. So I had some nostalgia because of that. I saw the second one, didn't dig that. And then the third, I just heard people say, oh, it's depressing. I'm like, I thought it's a comedy? What? So I never watched it.
This is what when I think of The Hangover, I think of like a fast-paced, like camera panning around with music playing, like, and people are getting out of limos and trying to look cool. Like that's what that entire movie makes me think. I only saw the first one, and I did not care for it. But
this film, like a lot of the film, is just knockoff versions of the three main guys from The Hangover doing the exact steez of The Hangover, and it like at no point could you be watching that and be like, oh, it's not as good as the real one. It's exactly the same. And then sometimes they say lines that have been written like to make you laugh, and sometimes you do. You don't get that in The Hangover.
Nope. This is a comedy. It's interesting.
Yeah, like I said, my thing is just nostalgia for family fun evening. I forgot what happens in the
but that's the same reason people like Kraft mac and cheese. It doesn't make it good.
Yeah, that's what I'm
sometimes
saying.
I have a grilled cheese. I had shells and
cheese.
No.
I'm not talking grilled cheese. Grilled cheese is good.
Oh.
Well, I'm talking like powdered ready meal.
Yeah, you don't want to face off against Luke about cheeses. So
I'm not trying to.
I grew up one town away from Cheddar, like the town of Cheddar, where Cheddar comes from.
Were you in Asiago?
I don't know what that is.
Is that a cheese?
I have a box of shit right in front of me. Anyway, what was I trying to say? Hangover bad. Zach Galifianakis was pretty much wasted in that. They couldn't really think of anything to do with Zach Galifianakis' character in this, except just put a copy of him doing a copy of the things Zach Galifianakis did in this. So that was stupid. This is
it's a weird Xerox of a movie. Yeah.
Although is actually Caitlyn Jenner's last movie before she transitioned. So we do have a real murder in this film.
Okay. I guess that's exciting. We didn't mention the other half, of course, that I think Uh, I've seen the first 30 minutes of the Hunger Games. I don't think Mark's seen it at all. Although
No,
I did get all four on Blu-ray for $4 and the Blu-ray the rental store Apocalypse a few weeks ago. So they are in my future, I suppose. But
I read the books, thought they were pretty good. Watched the films, which are okay, but I like them a lot because I really like J-Law. Um, Obviously, they're not as good as The Running Man, and I've never seen Battle Royale, but I understand that's better too. They're an extremely violent dystopian concept as portrayed by a 12A movie or PG-13 movie. So make of that what you are.
I would say that Jennifer Lawrence definitely was what kept me watching or kept me invested in the X-Men reboots after the first one.
It's really funny because they cast her as Mystique before she got mega big, which meant all of the sequels were like built around Mystique being one of the main X-Men.
Yeah, there was so much of it just her being herself. The second film, I think they were like, she's just I'm gonna just learn how to love myself and be myself, even though I am a shape-shifting character. So anyway,
generally on the more evil side of things. Yeah, because that's
she
horrible.
not anymore. Not after the second one.
Rebecca,
how much of the comics like taken that on board and now Mystique's just an X-Men? I bet they have done.
She hangs around. I think she was part of the Muir Island X-Men, which was a short-lived X-Men when all the real X-Men were dead or in another dimension, and it was just all the leftovers making a team. So I believe Mystique was part of that. Or maybe she was fighting them. She might have been fighting them, in which case that doesn't count because she would still be a villain. That's when Destiny dies. I do remember that.
I think the last time I was actively reading was Age of Apocalypse, which is probably like 30 years old now.
Yeah.
And
she might have been an X-Men then because the X-Men were all over the place because the timey-wimey stuff.
I doubt this is how Destiny dies, with thunderous applause.
Exactly.
Sorry, I couldn't help that.
Luke, do you want to give us a quick rundown of what was in this movie?
Three dudes wake up with a hangover. Oops, they're in the Hunger Games, but then they wake up. It didn't happen.
Okay, that does it fine. To be honest, I sort of I suggest. I thought you'd maybe ramble 30 seconds, but 5 is cool too.
Oh, this film doesn't deserve that.
Matt, your critique of his synopsis was actually longer than the synopsis itself.
Critique? I wasn't criticizing. I was reviewing.
Critique can be positive.
Critique doesn't have to be a negative.
I know. It's shades of meeting, right? It sound like, like you bastard.
Okay, so let's get into it. It's the year 2213 and Obama is still president.
Snowbama.
Yeah.
Was he Snowbama?
Yeah, that would be like
Did I miss that?
Yeah, that might be like
President Snow is the president in Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah. There were a few times when I was just thinking, there's no way. This has to be a joke I'm not getting. Like the girl who kept not talking, but then yelled at them.
Yeah, well, in the original, there's like a mute girl, so they just made it so that she says horrendous, like, well, not horrendous. She's usually quite correct in what she's saying, but she says vulgar things when their backs are turned. I thought that was actually a funny gag.
Yeah, at one point, one of them called her a vulgar little child. It was pretty funny.
I like the joke that they took like the pathetic one from The Hangover, made him like lusting over a 17-year-old. That's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, that was extremely funny. That actor was 24, so.
Oh yeah.
I assume
she wasn't actually 17 when she got her baps out at the end.
That's what I was. As soon as I saw, I was like, okay.
Well, also, she's clearly not 17.
Mm-hmm.
I do like. This is all I'm really gonna have to say about the actors. Is the guy that played Zach? Wait, did he play Zach? Why does it say
Zach?
Tracy?
Zach is the name of the character,
Tracy's the fiance.
Oh, right. Oh, yes. Anyway, that actor's name is Sam Pancake, and that's great. That's all I have to say about.
The knockoff Bradley Cooper, when they were recreating the opening shot of The Hangover, basically, he actually looked kind of like him in that one shot. Like they were based. Clearly, all three of them were hired because if you squint, they look like the cast of The Hangover.
I guess they were like, I mean, compared with biopics. I mean, say if this was like a biopic about the making of The Hangover, these guys all would have rated, right? At least
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
visually.
You are casting generic people that are supposed to look like other generic people, and I'll go ahead and say Zach Galifianakis does look like a generic big bearded man, even
Yep.
I
even
got
though
thrown off because on IMDb the actor who played Zach does not have a beard in his screenshot. So uh,
ooh,
that threw me
wow,
off
he's
for a
wearing a
minute.
suit. He
Yeah.
seems Canadian. Is he Canadian?
He, how does he seem Canadian?
I don't know.
Maybe his movie's Canadian. I don't know.
Sometimes people just seem. Oh, he
I'm
was in
assuming this movie
Secretary.
was not made in like the United States. He's in Secretary.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's
I
one
get
of. That's a great movie.
Yeah,
we were
It has a 6.9 on IMDb.
I
oh
couldn't
better
have
than
a
this one.
better score.
But the director here is we were talking before we actually got rolling. Is actually more interesting than expected. What was it? Piranha 3D and episodes of Avatar.
3D. Yeah, he wrote Piranha 3D and directed episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I believe Luke has seen that and Matt hasn't. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
I have not. I
You
know
should
nothing
watch
about
it.
that stuff. Yeah,
I've
there's so
already
many
yelled at
things
you.
you
You
should
need to
watch.
watch it.
You
Yeah,
ever
I
Matt
seen?
watched
doesn't watch anything. He's not going to watch 3 seasons of a children's Nickelodeon cartoon.
I watched it during the pandemic and it was so great that
I
I've been
watched
yelling
it.
at people.
I watched it when I first moved into this apartment because I didn't have any internet, but I had all of Last Airbender downloaded on the phone I'd been given.
Okay. Yeah, I've been yelling at my middle-aged friends to yell to watch it constantly and no one's taking me up on it. I wonder why.
No, I've been yelling at my middle-aged friends to yell.
I keep yelling at them to yell and they won't
Just
yell back at me.
yell back at me.
Wake up, people! Fight the power! Feel your
Uh,
rage.
Watch out with Wake Up. You'll blow your voice out again.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it was like, oh, this guy. I mean, obviously the writing didn't. Well, I guess talking about the virtues of the script of Piranha 3D is even if you like the movie, is kind of a weird place to go. So
I'm now kind of it was about 15 years ago, so now I'm kind of wondering was it horribly problematic? I know that Jerry O'Connell's dick gets spit out at you in 3D after Piranha eats him.
Hmm. Is that where you pee? And no, those are tiny ones that
Is the dick
swim
where
up
you
the
pee?
stream. There's a dick.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Candiru? No, it's not a
No,
Candiru.
like
It's Piranha.
you don't piss into the Amazon River, right? Because they'll.
In this case, the only fish that eat anyone's dick are piranha, the titular piranha.
Okay.
I haven't seen the sequel yet, but we will soon.
Yes, we will. So let me see. Yeah, I can't figure out where they made this. Production company Silver Nitrate, Sense and Sensibility Ventures, Country United States. So maybe they did film this in the United States.
So
It
I have
made
a question.
$332,000 in video sales only. That was the box office. So I think in 2014 this did not play in theaters.
Wow. Do you guys think that this is rated so low because people love The Hangover so much? Or possibly
People love
love
The
the
Hangover so much.
Hunger Games? This seems like a thing where, people were worried about incels getting mad when the Joker movie came out. Do you think that the incels love The Hangover so much that they went and downvoted this movie and
Oh my
brigaded it?
God, The Hangover's got a 7.7 on IMDb. You
Yeah,
might be
that is
correct.
absolute bullshit. Objectively.
I thought you were gonna say objection. I'd be very
Objection.
Like, so it was like the score 7.7 for The Hangover. Objection.
Should we have a segment where one of us calls IMDb and tries to talk to a human being about this?
I think people just excessively downvote these spoof movies for some reason. There's a lot of them on the list, and I think it's just that they're very hit or miss, right? As in, like, some people enjoy them, but if you're not into that humor, there's nothing there. It's just like a bunch of cheap knockoffs of a thing you've already seen, wondering about doing lame jokes.
I guess you're really better off if you're doing a spoof of a genre, because that's what Mel Brooks, when he was good, was doing, right? Blazing Saddles isn't a spoof on like a specific movie. I mean, Young Frankenstein kind of is, but not quite,
Also, yeah, I bet you probably are right in that Hunger Games fan wouldn't even watch this film. They'd just be like, "Oh, how dare you!" and just downvote it. I bet that does happen a bit.
I would bet that Hunger Games fans are more confident on average than Hangover fans.
Yeah. Also, how many people like their grandmother bought them this thinking it was the one they wanted?
Yes. Or maybe I only had $5 and I know you like The Hangover and I know you like The Hunger Games, so I just got this crossover.
I spent my last $5 on the Hunger Games. It made $332,000 in people making mistakes, I guess.
This really I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh well, it doesn't say what the budget was. I'm guessing it didn't make money with that number, so
I don't know. I mean, it's not like this features anyone. It barely features anyone famous.
Maybe
there's a bunch of effects. They just filmed it all in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, maybe it had like the best craft services table like ever, like in all of film history. That would be cool.
Yeah.
They were hungry.
It's a non sequitur, but sure.
But it's interesting to think about, like, what movie had the best craft services ever? Was it Titanic, where they all ate the PCP?
That was Chowder. So I don't know. How much do you really think Chowder? How offended are you by Chowder?
It was that Jon Favreau film, Chef, because he just wanted to make food. Is the only reason he made that film. Like there was a bunch of chefs on set.
Oh, okay.
I bet every Adam Sandler movie is also just ridiculous banger.
Oh yeah, because he's just making those to have an excuse to hang out with his friends. So like
the original Ocean's 11, that must have had some good craft services, and probably the one with Clooney too, but definitely the original, because that was the whole Rat Pack. You know, Sinatra, Sammy Davis, and maybe Joey Bishop wasn't there, but or maybe he was. I don't remember. Dean Martin. One of them was missing, but
don't you always say food was better in the 60s?
Well, that's
I doubt it.
TV show 1963.
I highly doubt it. That was, the era of the TV dinner. We had aspics, tomato sandwiches, whatever. Just
put things in molds.
Yeah,
you'd eat something called. I think the 70s are I mean,
dude, even food in the 80s when I was growing up is just dog shit compared to what we have now. Really,
I'm just saying, look at the 70s.
He's talking about like
disturbing.
Fresh cooked stuff from a restaurant. Maybe was better when the ingredients were more pure. I don't know.
We live in,
is it
Luke
just
and I
a
live
thing
in
that
Japan.
Matt brings up
when you
I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, it's like when you go to somewhere like Red Lobster or Applebee's or Trader Vic's, you're kind of getting the restaurant 1980s, 1970s restaurant experiences, because they don't really change those that much. So it's like, on one hand, you might get some cheddar biscuits that are delicious, but then you feel kind of terrible because they're using tons of butter. And
I heard they're reopening.
That's how you make food taste good, is just using butter.
Yeah,
I heard the LA Traders Vic's is reopening finally. That's kind of cool.
Good.
Somehow Atlanta's still holding on, is it?
It's still there. I think they're doing okay.
It's the only until that LA one opens. It's the only one in the States, I think.
They did, far as I know, they did fine during the pandemic.
Okay, cool.
Last time I went there, they had a bunch of new drinks that were sort of more savory, and I had 3 of them, and I still felt terrible. Even though I thought they might have less sugar than the other ones, but apparently I was wrong.
Power.
It was just like that, except with vomit.
What, you sneeze and vomit at the same time?
No, it just sounded like that. I'm a scream
snozzits.
I'm also a scream sneezer, so therefore I'm also a scream vomiter. Unfortunately, you'll know if I ever throw up on this podcast.
Well,
I didn't throw up for Human Centipede, so I guess we're probably safe.
Speaking of Human Centipedes,
really good joke, I thought.
Yeah, that was the bit where I was like, because the first 20 minutes of this film is literally just doing the Hangover steez, and then they stumble on a Hunger Games parody, and I was sat there like, this is doing nothing for me. And then they get to that gag, and it was really funny.
Yeah,
that they'd done a Human Centipede, but not because some psychopath had captured them, because they were drunk and they did it for a laugh.
Yeah, sure, why not? I'm looking. No, I wrote down a line, but it's not actually funny. I think I was just like desperately trying to find things I could write down that were funny. Did they say bromance was not a word?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that true in 2014?
I think that was a joke.
Okay.
That didn't land very well.
Okay. I just got confused.
No words are words until someone says them, and then they're all words.
Yeah.
It's true. Don't get doxxed. The Muppets were very funny to me. And fuck you, ho, fuck you. I wasn't sure this was an R-rated movie until the Muppets started talking.
You mean it didn't? It had to. You weren't when the gratuitous nudity characters showed up.
This is the thing. I live in a modern era where there's just no rating on anything, so I just don't even pay attention to how many tits there are until.
Wow, that was late in the movie when the Muppets showed up. Okay,
it was. It really was.
Oh, also, you know when they meet the probably laziest joke in the film, the like Real Housewives characters, and they start fighting Carrie. One of them shouts, "You fucking cunt."
My favorite thing from that, I wrote it down. One of them just screams, "My tits are gonna melt."
Yeah,
that was really funny. Just I don't know what that just gets me so hard when somebody just says a thing.
That gets you hard?
That gets me so.
Respect boner.
I guess it works
that was
here.
One that was mildly amusing.
That makes me laugh so hard when someone just says what's happening.
maybe I'll say that I go to the hot spring and be like, "Hey guys, this is a respect boner for you."
Oh yeah, when cat piss. Wait,
catnip.
When
cat piss would have been funny.
Is saying goodbye to Ed, and she's just like, "Here, this is for you," and she just like sort of taps his balls a couple of times, like, "Yeah, here you go, here you go." That was, I don't know. See, they're really funny things in here, more than a fleet of Stan Helsings of jokes in here.
More than a trilogy of Hangover movies.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not even going to watch the other two Hangover movies to find out.
I don't think
I'm not going to make someone watch this, but you know.
No. But you know, if you ever need to oh yeah, 3 depths in one place. That aged well. I mean,
well, that
I mean, they were like they were pretty quick on the ball of it's ridiculous that Johnny Depp played a Native American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. A good call there. And it just kind of like throws in the nice thing that, you know, Johnny Depp spent 20 years as playing the exact same shtick. So,
yeah.
I did get in the rental store apocalypse, I did get Mordecai just out of like bizarre curiosity. So
what's that now?
That's a shitty movie which apparently has his worst acting job ever.
But I mean, what's it? I'll just look it up.
Mordecai. Yeah.
You just say shitty movie. Doesn't mean
I know nothing about it other than it has an image of him like in a suit with a mustache.
That's all I really know. And that apparently it's like just a master class in shitty acting. So I'm like, oh, I have to see that.
The last thing I saw Johnny Depp in was The Orient Express, and like he was fine in that, but he was just playing like a little dirtbag no one liked.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm supposed to like Johnny Depp or not right now.
It's really up to your. It's sort of he said, she said situation, but I think they're both kind of terrible. And,
yeah, it's probably a case that they're both terrible.
It's one of those things when you're dealing with something like that in real life, you just sort of try to politely not hang out with either of them ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what America did, right? He's hanging out in France now. I think his new movie, he's speaking French, actually.
Oh yeah, they love
Louis
this kind of France.
Wow, it's been a long time since I've seen him in a film. He played Donald Trump in Donald Trump's The Art of the Deal, the movie.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
The hell?
They put that came out right about the time Trump announced he was running for president, so no one
it's a joke.
thought it was serious. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, it's a joke.
It is a satire.
No, it's really funny. It's like he's talking to a kid about how he made money and stuff, and they keep giving him like ethnic kids and like there's a black kid, and then in the next scene it's like looks like a white kid, and he's like, "What's your name?" He's like, Juan Esperanto or something. Sorry, Esperanto is completely wrong, but and then the next scene it cuts and it's like an even whiter kid and that he's talking to.
Okay, well, the last movie I saw him in was Yoga Hosers, which I fucking hated.
That's a movie? Okay.
Anyways, a Kevin Smith movie.
Oh,
Yoga Hosers.
Why are you actively watching Kevin Smith movies?
Because my friend was cutting my hair and she was watching it, so I was also watching it.
Oh.
I'm not gonna call her out, but
so you saw 20 minutes of it.
I saw the whole thing.
Okay. That story makes me glad I'm bald.
Well, you could always pay someone to slowly shave your entire head. But the last movie I saw that I liked with him in it was Dark Shadows in 2012.
I did not buy that at the rental store Apocalypse, but though it was there. Did I make a mistake?
Yeah.
Okay.
You might like it. The thing is,
it always felt like a poor man's What We Do in the Shadows.
I think What We Do in the Shadows, the movie, is better than Dark Shadows, the movie, but What We Do in the Shadows, the series, has kind of fallen off for me over time. But it's a very different thing. The thing about the movie, the Tim Burton movie, is that the soap opera ran for like 7,000 episodes. And what he does is just kind of cram a ton of the canon from this into that movie, which is really hilarious because a character is just like, oh, I'm also a werewolf. And just like all this, a lot of little twists and turns were just shoved into it, which I enjoyed. I only saw the reboot. My friend Chuck, who may be on this podcast sometime in the future, is now trying to watch the series. And I'm like, you can't, dude. It's not going to work. You're not going to be able to. There's a writer's strike right now, so a lot of film people aren't working.
Right. And I think the actors are about to follow suit, if I'm correct.
I think the directors made a deal, but the SAG authorized the strike, so we'll see.
Yeah, especially sitting here in Japan, it's like, it's news. It's content's become bizarre anyway. So
I can't even keep up with. Yeah, I can't even keep up with just Star Trek. Like just that one property. I can't keep up with Star Wars. Like, why is there so much Star Wars? I can't.
There used to be like one every 3 or 4 years, and that felt fine.
So even Marvel doing like 3 movies a year is nothing compared to 5 series.
Yeah, there's wagons. I have stayed on the Star Trek wagon, but that's because I'm, like
you're married to the brand.
Extreme dork level Trekkie. Yeah.
I'd love to watch a lot of it.
I would be better at keeping up with Star Trek if it was just on services I have.
Yeah, that probably helps.
I'm not as into pirating stuff as Matt is, just because I don't like watching stuff on my PC.
Oh, I have my PC hooked directly to my 55-inch television. I pirate everything, allegedly.
This is Mark.
This is allegedly Mark. You can't use that legally.
I mean, I watched this film on archive.org, so
I watched it on Amazon Prime, so technically I'm destroying the economy in a different way.
Yeah, these films tend to fall through a little K-hole or something. There was a moment where I just started in terms of this movie, it was right after the 3 Depths, and they had the weird bees, which I couldn't tell what effect was going on there. But that
was funny, kind of. I thought.
Yeah, and I couldn't really tell what was happening there as far as the effect. So I couldn't tell if it was really gloopy, weird CGI or if they had like weird models of bees or whatever.
But I think it was crummy CGI.
It was CGI of bees that were much larger than normal bees, so that you could see the bees.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I guess they fixed that Wicker Man situation. Anyway, at that point, I was kind of thinking I would love this movie. It just kind of at that point de-evolved into like an episode of Xavier Renegade Angel. That would have been a nice move to make at that point.
I still can't believe. Yeah, I still can't believe that got made. It's one of my favorite things of all time.
I know it's crass, but I found it really funny how the woman kept getting her boobs stuck in stuff.
It's okay. Before. It was consensual getting boobs stuck in things.
I was at a hippie hostel and a girl on a wooden dock platform was skinny dipping and stuff, and then got her boobs stuck in the wooden dock for a moment. So it happens.
I still felt like all the crass boobs humor was funnier in this than in like Stan Helsing, and I don't even remember how many boobs were in Stan Helsing, but I just felt like I just didn't laugh. I don't even know what happened there. I'm still
Oh,
talking about
there was like they saw the Brides of Frankenstein and like fantasized about them. That was like it.
and the mouse
Yeah,
that kept taking panties or whatever. I guess it was the
yeah.
one the amount of slut jokes in that movie were kind of off-putting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the guy had written some decent stuff, so there's some fun stuff in here baked in. Well, we have the beak job that was fun, slightly funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hated that bird though. I was like, I wanted the bird to just go away.
I think you're supposed to hate the bird.
It was terrible. It wasn't. Was that a Mockingjay joke in
Yeah.
Hunger Games? Mockingjay, is there a bird that talks?
It doesn't talk, but it repeats.
Sure.
It does repeat stuff. Oh no! So the main Mockingjays that are just out in the wild don't. But then in one of the sequels, they have books that like repeat the screams of the people's families who've been captured and shit to like mentally torture them.
Oh, that sounds cool. It's like the Baron Annihilation.
Yeah.
Probably not that cool.
No, not Baron Annihilation is fucking sick.
That was my favorite.
Oh, and then scene where they're discussing the human centipede, they call him a potty mouth. I thought that was fun.
That was good. Yeah. Well, to be fair, the best bit of all the Hunger Games films is when Ken Jeong turns up and he's allowed to ad lib because he's actually funny.
Do you mean The Hangover?
The guy from the Hangover.
No, the Hunger Games. Where...
okay.
No, I'm joking. I meant the Hangover.
Okay. I mean, he could have told me he showed up in the. I would have believed it. He was in everything for a while.
Exactly. I would have been like properly confused by all that. Yeah, sure.
I'd love to see him play like a serial killer. I think he'd be amazing.
I think there are definitely some latter season communities where he basically does that.
It's either Thor was crap, but I mean, which isn't saying much, but yeah.
That was very bad.
Because, so I guess the worst of this film's jokes is just there's some real homophobic shit where the whole joke is like, wouldn't it be funny if a man was gay?
Yeah, that was really annoying for the beginning where it's like, is gay marriage the joke? Is that the joke?
That was a joke?
The joke is that, he's getting married, but in this one it's gay.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't really even like register that. Okay. So I was actually saying
the way it was presented. It was
I was just saying there.
Well, it was just a thing they changed. Why did they change it? Why?
Yeah,
because it's funny. It's a joke.
They must. The fact they changed it means they must have thought it was funny.
Okay. I was sitting there thinking, did he get married to a dude in The Hangover? I don't remember.
I don't think they have like 3 weddings across the 3 films, but none of them are gay weddings, as far as I recall.
Oh, okay. Well, if they were like, yeah, who knows? Who knows what was going on in the mind? It's just,
I'm sure Todd Phillips is like, I'm not going to let the woke mob put a gay marriage in my Hangover movies. They're for guys.
I just keep looking at the year 2014. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's not that long ago. Is the world really that different from 2014? Or
I think this film was in poor taste when it came out.
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't be surprised that's at least some of the downvoting.
Yeah,
possibly.
I guess are these movies being somebody's making these now? I guess
I don't know, man.
I don't.
Are people still making comedy movies?
Yeah, I say that
like a question.
Like
mark
I don't
at the end
know. I don't know.
I can't remember the last time there was a comedy film that people were raving about. There's like films which is something else and also funny.
Like maybe series, like I Think You Should Leave.
That's it. Yeah, they still make TV stuff.
Like most people feel like that's where comedy is right now, is there,
or just online,
Yeah, like maybe those people. Well, okay, Weird was an incredibly good
I guess
comedy.
Weird counts.
Okay. That was one of my favorite movies of last year, but that was also an anomaly where someone allowed a biopic to be made of them that was almost entirely false, which nobody famous would ever even do that. I'm sure a lot of
it makes perfect sense for Weird Al, right?
It does, but even there's I would say it's 50-50 chance that even Weird Al wouldn't have allowed that to happen. Like it's a miracle that.
So like, I put comedy films 2022 into Google, right?
Mm-hmm.
And among the top ones, you've got Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which has gags, but I wouldn't list it as a comedy.
Yeah.
Glass Onion, again, it's funny in places. I wouldn't list it as a comedy. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
What?
Same.
It's very funny, but not a comedy.
Yeah, not a comedy.
Thor: Love and Thunder. That's it. They don't make pure comedies anymore.
Except for Weird.
Except
one,
for Weird.
I
I'm
was
sure there are others, but
I was reading up a little
Bros
bit on Weird.
was supposed to be. Well, isn't that a Judd Apatow movie? So I'm gonna automatically assume that it might not be funny.
You were talking about how everything Weird is wrong, but what's extra funny is most of the details of that movie are correct. Like the little details are correct.
Yeah.
All the big picture stuff is wrong.
Yeah, but I mean it's changed in order to be funnier.
No, I'm talking about little
Also,
details. Like apparently he did get his accordion from a traveling salesman, right? Which seems kind of ridiculous in the movie, but that's actually the true part. The rest of it's false.
It's the only biopic I've ever liked.
Okay, sure, why not?
Probably. I don't like biopics. They annoy me because they always change something, and you can always tell that they're changing something either to piss someone off.
Same fucking film.
Yeah, they're either just serving the subject or doing a puff piece or attacking them, or in the case of House of Gucci, trying to have it both ways and kind of go a little bit in both ways, and then having it be just middling as hell.
They're just trying to please Big Puffy for the puff
Big
pieces.
Puffy?
Yeah, puff pieces.
Oh, yeah. There's probably a Puff Daddy
industry.
puff piece coming out. I mean, one could argue that Straight Outta Compton was a puff piece.
Puff the Magic Dragon.
I mean, Straight Outta
Dr. Dre
Compton starred Ice Cube's son as Ice Cube, so like it was hardly going to be a biting critique.
Yeah, notorious batterer Dr. Dre at the end is like, I'm going to take control of my business and do the right thing. And
I'd like to see Ice Cube and Dr. Dre do a cover of Puff the Magic Dragon.
I think that you're more likely to see the Hungover Games 2 than to see that.
We can dream. We can dream of bigger things, I guess. Let's see.
I like the Jump Street movies. They were funny comedies, but they were a while back now.
Oh yeah, those were like 5-6 years ago.
The same guys who are doing Spider-Verse movies now.
Makes sense.
Oh really? Okay.
Kanye West watched that and he decided he wasn't anti-Semitic anymore. Yeah, I think they've brought Clone High back, which I've never watched, but
yeah, Stu was tweeting about that.
Same guys. I haven't watched it, but I would be a hypocrite if I didn't, since I keep telling everyone to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. And there's also a children's cartoon.
Well, I did, getting back to the Trekkie stuff, I did get through the Prodigy season, so that happened.
How would you rank that?
My question for everyone is, do you like Pixar?
I tolerate Pixar.
I have mixed feelings.
Okay, it just feels like Pixar Trek, kind of. But then it's quite good. So if you can get into that.
This would be we're about to record Toy Story 3 in like a week, and I will get into all my complicated feelings then. But I'll say this: I have seen all the Toy Story movies. I have seen all the Toy Story movies in the theater.
Okay, I've not seen 4.
I saw the first 3 in the theater, and I've never seen 4.
I like 4 better than 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that. I just don't feel it needs to exist.
Yeah,
I have no interest in watching
finished.
it.
I don't think you really have to watch any of them. But
well, no, the children's films about toys.
The thing is, 3 is kind of about retirement, and 4 is about fuck it, we're breaking out of the retirement home.
I mean, I already
so 4 is a more
there, so yeah.
4 is a more fun and hopeful film, and it also looks a lot better than 3 does. Partly because 4 largely takes the technology mostly, but also a lot of it takes place in an antique shop, so you have things like some weird stained glass reflections and things like that.
It'll be wild when I get to 1 and watch the 1995 CG.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best one, but ironically, it looks like absolute dog shit if you think about it.
Yeah.
I probably should have saved this for the Toy Story episode, but here goes. Small Soldiers, better than any Toy Story.
I know I need to watch that.
I got Lotso Bear in my room. I made my choice.
I don't have him here, but back in the UK, I've got Archer, Emissary of the Gorgonites.
There you go. Okay.
No Toy Story toys.
But when we talked about that one, it was kind of like it really helps to have watched that as a child, back then.
Oh yeah,
That's definitely a nostalgia hook one. I mean, there's good stuff about for sure. I
it,
enjoy
to
watching
me,
it,
so
but-
is Toy Story.
I've played more. What was that game series where it was all the
Army Men? Hell
I've played
yeah.
more. I've played far more Army Men games than I have played any Pixar-based video games.
Do they have any
I mean,
good
does
ones?
Kingdom Hearts 2 count?
Yes,
Okay,
but you probably still play more Army Men.
Maybe.
I'm just
back
guessing.
In the day.
Yeah, I spent a whole lot of
I don't
time.
think I ever owned an Army Men, but I used to play a hell of a lot of them at friends' houses.
I definitely played a disc with Army Men games on it on my PlayStation.
I legitimately purchased disc.
Allegedly.
One Army game on it that was printed by the publisher.
Multiple. Yeah, multiple. I figured that one out pretty quickly. The PlayStation 2, all you need is a knife and it's magic disc. Allegedly.
Oh crap. I was I was just getting confused because I was trying to find the review, like the 10-star, right? But I was actually looking at reviews for The Hangover. So
I didn't find any super good
I actually
ones.
do want to read a 10-star review of The Hangover now that I think about it. What is the mindset of the person who likes that?
Okay. I
I
mean,
bet there's like 100 of them, right?
Search that out if you want.
Well, you find the Hungover games one while I do that.
All right, here you go. Best movie ever by NZQFNMYMY. I don't think I've ever seen a better movie. They did a perfect job of combining the best parts of both The Hangover and The Hunger Games. The cast is way better than the cast in The Hangover, and I would recommend this for all ages. 0 of 2 found this helpful.
All ages, really? Okay.
That was one sentence, so I tried to read it like it was one sentence. Yeah, all ages. All ages is almost the best part.
Here's another one where they just love Meet the Spartans and well, I guess the first they said scary movie. Excuse me, not disaster movie. So I guess scary movie is considered not to be complete garbage.
The first 2 are good. We'll never watch them.
Well, they're listing the first. You have to watch 5. You're gonna have to watch Scary Movie 5. That's your fate. But it's a long time in the future.
Of course, I fucking will. I wasn't expecting it to be before 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess what Mark, what you just read is probably the best. There's not so many 10-star reviews for this. Probably. Well, I got enough reviews to be on the list, I guess. So yeah.
I mean, the only other one I even considered was "Relax, people. It's a spoof. One of the best spoof movies ever. It's called Irony, folks. So good." Okay. 7 out of 10 found this helpful.
Well, that was a helpful review then. Good for him.
Is it? No. It's called Irony, folks. If you say it's called blank, folks, you just put anything in there in any situation and people like it.
It's sort of like the thing that drags us into, I guess, filth territory, as opposed to just being a not very good film, is, I guess, just the homophobia and sexism and all that stuff, huh?
And the racism and the fact that they kept going back between it's the future, it's an alternate dimension. That was bullshit.
Well, they didn't fully integrate the drafts of the script, right? That's where I was kind of hoping, like this would be a great movie of 30 minutes, and it did just go, like I said, Xavier Renegade Angel territory. That would have been amazing.
Should have just died in the future like men.
Yeah.
Yeah. I if you just cut it from when they eat those berries and don't have the final scene, much better ending.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's it, because it didn't really feel like a spoof. It felt like they were genuinely just like, oh, we could make one of those Hangover films and let's combine it with the Hunger Games. Like, it wasn't really spoofing the Hangover shtick. It was just doing it.
Yeah, one of the main problems I had with this film, just on a filmmaking level, was that it seemed like they really wanted to critique how everything was a sequel or a spoof, but this was not even a good sequel or a spoof or remake or whatever it was.
You just don't get irony.
You don't get to It's like
7 out of
we
10
can't.
people agree with me.
Suppose we tried to make this podcast about this bad movie worse than the movie itself.
Right.
And I do know.
I'm sure someone out there thinks we have.
Oh, there are there are podcasts. I'm not going to name them, but there are podcasts that are built entirely around talking about things they don't like, and they at times are unlistenable. And I'm just like, I'd rather listen to the shitty thing you're talking about.
Well, some people are funny at talking about things they don't like, or interesting about explaining like the issues, whereas some people are just
throwing mud.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a 10 out of 10 review for The Hangover. I found this film very funny, and in 2009 it was very different to any film I'd seen in a while. I found myself laughing out loud at some of the jokes, so I'm glad I watched it at a mate's house. I still remember some of the famous quotes from the original film. Okay, you ready for these laugh out loud quotes that are going to make it a 10 out of 10 film?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So long, gay boys.
Hey,
she is a nice lady.
That's nice.
You gonna fuck on me? However, when something is good, they tend to ruin it by making too much of a good thing to make money. I found the second one funny, but it didn't surprise me as much as the first one because they used the same scenario. The third one was funny, but you could kind of tell it was purely a film that had to be created to make money, rather than an original film for viewers' enjoyment.
That's a good tagline for your next movie you make. An original film for your enjoyment.
I was actually kind of shocked by how not funny the quotes were. Like,
right?
I wasn't even expecting that. Jesus.
Well, you need the context, or you don't understand irony. One of the two.
Maybe it's both. Maybe I don't understand context.
Okay, there's one here that's like listing it alongside The Godfather, Citizen Kane, Scarface, The Dark Knight. that is just a joke, or like that's from 26 June 2009. That was written right after the film came out.
What the fuck?
On the whole, The Hangover is a masterpiece. I enjoyed each and every minute of this venture. 2 big thumbs up.
Okay. That was a short review after listing on
Heather Graham looks angelic as always and delivers a sincere performance as the hooker.
She's a sincere hooker. I really believe it. Okay, but again, it's people do seem to like that one.
Yeah, people are thick.
Was the fact that they were on a train a Snowpiercer reference, or is there a train?
There is a train in the Hunger Games.
Okay,
yeah. But I think the fact that it was going through the snow may have been a Snowpiercer reference.
Okay. I love Snowpiercer.
Okay, well, it was 2014, so
yeah, Snowpiercer was like 2010, 2011.
Oh, is it okay? It just didn't show in Japan for a long time then, because I watched in a theater in like January 2014, I think. So,
2013, so pretty close.
Okay, because I remember because I got snowed in and then went to see Snowpiercer. That was exciting.
All right.
Like the mall was closed for 2 days, and when it opened again, I saw Snowpiercer. And in Japan, when things closed because of snow, that's pretty wild.
I don't think it showed in the theater at all here. Like Parasite did, or I saw Parasite in the Lighthouse the same day, which that was something.
I remember seeing a list once on crack.com or something of like, great movies that you never could have seen in the theater. And like, I'd seen 5 of them in the theater,
That was like my friend Phil, who's going to be here to defend Uwe Boll soon, worked at the movie theater and was getting me in a bunch. And there was one day when we saw Rambo Last Blood and Terminator Dark Fate back to back, which that was a hilarious, back to back, because Terminator Dark Fate, you see like the Mexican Terminator killing people at the border, killing border patrol left and right. And then the Rambo movie was like, hey, don't go to Mexico or you'll be raped and killed immediately.
Yeah.
And then he just basically, that was just the most ridiculously xenophobic thing I'd ever seen for no reason.
Well, my girlfriend grew up in a narco-controlled Mexican town and did see like bodies hanging from bridges and shit, and had to duck down in her car because there were gunfights going on. And
Jesus.
every story she tells me, it does sound like Mexico is a terrifying place to be a woman on your own. So,
Well,
there is a little truth in it. But yes, when I watched Rambo 5, the impression I got was just that Stallone fucking hates Mexicans.
Yeah, maybe I just didn't need to hear that from Sylvester Stallone.
Although, like, because the woman he was avenging was Mexican. It's not like it's just specifically he hates the cartel, which is pretty fair.
That's true, and he does.
Cartel.
And it was very amusing when he just Home Aloned the shit out of them.
Yeah, it ends with him cutting a guy's heart out and showing it to him. It was grim. That film was so grim.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say Terminator.
Rambo goes so far that you're like, I now feel sympathetic for the cartel that he's murdering. So Terminator Dark Fate was great.
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot more of the two, especially because I was expecting nothing from a Terminator sequel, and apparently nobody else was either because nobody went to see it, even though.
Yeah, I let myself get my hopes up a little bit because it had Linda back, and I think Cameron was more involved than he had been since 2.
Well, the twist with the Terminator is just possibly my favorite twist because, for one thing, he just murders a kid in the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Yeah,
and then he's like a carpet guy.
Yeah, that's seen in any Terminator movie
with a human
rambling
family
on about drapes.
I'm sorry if I spoiled this 2018 movie for anyone who hasn't seen it, but
19, you bastard.
Time is nebulous in this age of,
especially in Terminator.
Yeah, especially Terminator. Yeah, just you wait. How late will Skynet be next time, or Legion, or Genesis, or whatever the devil calls himself.
Anything
also, the
else
first Terminator film to actually feature drones, which is a terrifying way Terminator has come true.
Did Salvation not have drones?
No, Salvation didn't have anything interesting.
Oh, okay.
It was just a
well, I mean,
movie.
yeah, no, Salvation was all set in the future, so it had drones in the same sense the first 2 movies did.
Oh, right, that's what I'm thinking. I should have cited the first 2.
Whereas whereas Dark Fate had actual modern drones, like drawing that parallel between Terminator and real life.
And Salvation did have Helena Bonham Carter as Skynet, which canonically we could have had, I guess, a movie where the Matt Smith Skynet went forward in time and made out with the Helena Bonham Carter's Skynet.
Yeah, sure.
If anybody's looking for a new idea for Terminator movies.
Is she going to be in her ape makeup for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people will demand it.
Anyway, I don't think anyone's demanding the Hungover game. So are we finished with that?
No.
Bye. Finn. This is film, but all the Hangover movies are filth.
Okay.
That's my take.
You just want to contrast it that way. Okay, that's cool.
It's a filmic parody of a filthy franchise.
Yeah.
And another filmic franchise. I guess are we watching the Hunger Games? Is that going to happen?
At some point.
Okay.
I mean, I guess if you want to do just the first one, that's doable. If you want to make Matt watch all 4, it's going to be a minute.
I don't want to make myself watch all 4 unless I fell in love with it, but I still think Battle Royale is probably better. That's one of my favorite movies. So
okay, I guess I'll lead us out. Oh, go ahead.
Let's watch Battle Royale, Running Man, and Hunger Games, and just do one episode about all 3.
Okay, hell yeah! It'll be the Battle Royale of Battle Royales.
Yeah, and we'll stream Fortnite the whole time. We'll stream it.
We'll stream it inside Fortnite. You have to go into Fortnite and listen to us talk through our avatars.
It could be our first episode that's live on Twitch.
Yeah, perfect.
As for this podcast, it's Films and Filth. It's Films and Filth on Twitter. You can check us there. You can support us on Patreon at Podcastius, where you get the episodes early, a little bit of extra banter a lot of the time. We do other stuff like Time Enough podcast about the Twilight Zone, about Disney. Luke loves Pokemon because Luke loves Pokemon. Hyrule Field Report about the Zelda games and the game show where gamers game each other. They don't hate the game, they hate the players.
You almost said they gamed each other to death, didn't you?
I don't know. I got stuck in it was like a verbal wave, you know? I didn't really know where it was going to take me.
You got into a game fugue state.
That's right.
Speaking of game fugue states, I'm going to go play Zelda.
Same Z's.
You're doing it now, aren't you?
No.
Oh wow.
I don't think I
No,
can. I'm not as
not
talented
because
as
I want to
Lucas.
pay attention to you, because I would want to pay more attention to the game. Bye.
That's enough silence for
Yeah.
me. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Um.
Have you gotten a bouncy stick, Luke?
Huh?
Yeah. That's
I
fine.
got a bouncy stick. I can't figure out how to make things. I guess I haven't had anything light enough with it. But
What I really like is a bouncy shield.
oh
Enemies
shit!
hit you just boing.
Oh my
Bouncy
god! I
shit?
got to do that. Bouncy shield.
So, same time next week is Toy Story 3. That's where we are right now.
Wait, did I not record this?
I don't know. Did you know? I
Doesn't
recorded
matter,
it.
Matt did.
I guess I didn't. Sorry.
Okay.
Thought
So
I
yeah,
fucking did.
next
You
week.
probably,
Toy
I think
Story
you pressed
3.
it, and then Matt gives you permission, but you have to press it again.
Sorry. I'll get it next time.
Yeah, do better, Mark.
Especially if we have to do this again because the recording fucked up. I'm sure it's fine.
Oh wait, when
Yeah,
was
that was
the
fine.
when did we decide for Arabia again?
Did Blake
haven't-
not come back?
He hasn't replied, so yeah, but
Okay.
I'm gonna name him and be like, hey, tell us, because he might be shy. He might not want the 9 p.m., but I need to make sure that he says
27th. We've been saying 27th, 28th. Okay, yeah. I still got. I'm just making. I scheduled a fair amount of podcasts recently, so I'm making sure they don't, step on each other's toes. Because I have several zones.
Okay, with 9 p.m. Wait. I don't think I responded to this one. Sorry. Okay. 20. So we can do the 27th now because the Flintstones moved?
That's correct.
Okay.
When we were talking, I think Jessica mixed up the 27th and 29th because, the 7 and 9 look mildly similar, but
yeah.
But yeah, the Flintstones is now the 29th, 30th.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I could say I was looking forward to that one, but
hey,
we'll get through it.
Be fun. What?
It's probably better than this. It has to be better than this.
I'm looking forward to watching Viva Rock Vegas, to be honest.
I'm sure it's better than The Hangover.
No, that's actually most of the shitty movies coming out soon. I'm pretty excited about. This is the last one for a while that I was like, oh god, because Flintstones, 1998 Avengers, In the Name of the King, A Dungeon Siege Tale, Love Guru, I Know Who Killed Me, Piranha 3DD, Bucky Larson, Shark Boy, Lava Girl, Mac and Me, Dragon
Wait,
Wars.
Matt. So Flintstones is the night of the 26th, morning of the 27th.
No. That's for you. The morning of the 30th. That's Friday morning.
Blake says yes to the 27th.
Okay.
You said Flintstones is the previous day.
Yeah, because
it was before it moved.
Yeah, remember, okay. I always have to sit here talking about there's always 2 dates on all these, right?
Okay.
Of the time zones. Flintstones is
neither of the 30th is not the previous day to any of the days which are before the 30th.
Anyway, yeah,
so Friday morning for us. What
Friday
time?
Morning, 10 a.m.
Okay, that's fine because for fuck's sake. All right. I'm recording before that, and then I'm gonna have to head to the gym. That's literally 11 a.m. So
okay, the reason for that is because they have the Discord Trek talk that morning or that evening, so I can start them at 8:30 because at least Mike tends to go into that. So yeah,
no, it's fine. I can live with it.
And the last
wait, 8:30 is what, Flintstones? Oh, it's 8:30 for you, 7:30 for me.
No, Flintstones is 10 a.m. Excuse me.
Oh, 9?
Yes, 9 for you that Thursday. Yeah. That's what the dates are so convoluted. One more, Mark, while you're still on there. Can you do a Friday evening 6 p.m. on the 23rd?
You already asked me that, and I said Yes.
Oh,
For
good. Okay,
for
I'm just looking at
Space 1999.
That's right. I'm just looking at the list now, so I'm just making sure everything works out, which it seems it
Okay.
does. Because I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have like 8 on here without Lawrence yet. So,
Yeah.
Okay, so Wednesday the 14th, Toy Story 3, 8:30 a.m.
Yes,
What's the next one after that?
I guess that's going to be Lawrence, and then the
So that's
Flintstones.
27th.
Yeah,
27th for us, or 27th? No, 28th for us.
27th
Right?
for me, 28th for you, and
Yes.
then Flintstones 29th for me, 30th for you.
Yeah.
Okay, and Lawrence is 8:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I guess we got that straight now.
Cool.
I guess I could just I could screenshot my Zoom, I suppose. That might be smart. I'll screenshot and send it to you guys after I add Lawrence because I haven't.
So I've saved those 3. So that means we don't have anything scheduled for next week right now.
Next week is Toy Story, I believe.
Next week's Toy Story.
Oh, sorry, the week after.
The week after, there's nothing. So if we do want to patch in something there.
Well, I was going to say that me and Mark should try to do. Mark can come on the Zelda one that week if we're not doing any of this.
Cool.
That's probably reasonable enough because I think we're quite. Yeah. We'll be nicely ahead of time by the end of the month. Yeah. But then July we'll definitely need to kick in a few because Luke and I basically cannot record for the first 2 weeks of August. So
got it.
Well, Return of the Jedi coming up soon. Yeah, okay. I decided since I don't have a guest on it now, I assume I'm not looking for a guest for that one because I assume we all have plenty of things to say about Return of the Jedi. Because I was thinking about it. Oh, I offered it. And, yeah,
I feel like I had an idea for that, and I can't think of. I'm sure you know somebody, some Star Trek person. Star Trek person who also likes Star Wars.
No, but my point is, I'm actually now I'm wondering if maybe that's not a good one to even get a guest because we'll probably ice them out by talking too much.
Maybe.
Either way, it's good.
Anyway, that was my thought. We might, yeah. So, unless someone is like, "Oh my God, give it to me," so.
Oh my God, yeah. All the time, people just keep telling me, "Oh my God, give it to me."
Anyway, I'm bored of talking to you two. I want to go play Zelda. Bye.
All right, see ya.